Yo guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be going through the meta game in the Pokemon TCG. It's been so makeshift the last few weeks, and it's interesting to see how it develops like as the days go on. So I've noticed quite a strange pattern where what decks are being played, people counter them immediately the day after. So we're going to go through last few results of a few big tournaments. And we're going to sort of digest everything, see what we can take away from it, and implement them into our game plans. So before we start, I'd really appreciate if you guys go to my Twitch. There should be a link in the description below the video. We're streaming weekly. We just did 3 back-to-back tournaments on there. So yeah, I'd really appreciate a follow on there. Also subscribe if you haven't, and check out my socials as well. So we're going to go through a tournament from the southeast of Asia. So this is an open tournament. I believe mostly Australian and American players were there. Obviously Asian players as well. So this is the general meta breakdown. So we're seeing quite a diverse meta, but we're seeing a lot of Leafeon. I think Umbreon's been super popular last few days, and I think people are playing more Leafeon to counter that. The single strike Umbreon deck's been crazy, absolutely crushing it. So people are playing a lot more Leafeon. We also got Dragapult. We'll go through the top 8 list, top 8 decks, and then we'll go to like Swiss and Top Cut. So we've got 3 tournaments to go over here. So we'll probably do like top decks of each one, see what's being played, and then the Top Cut. So we got Dragapult, probably in my opinion most consistent deck. Fog Crystal's a really good card. It's insane. So I think this is a safe option if you go and play a tournament. It does lose to Umbreon, but you can also play the Rapid Strike Urshifu in there if you were scared of an Umbreon. So although it doesn't directly counter it, it does make you less vulnerable to an Umbreon. So we got also Sylveon deck. I think that's such a good deck. It's really techy. So having a deck that can play Fire, Urshifu, Umbreon, it can play like all the good stuff. So Sylveon's a really good techie deck. Zacian, what can I say about Zacian? It's a go-to card. It 1 hits most V Pokemon, and then 2 hits most V Maxes, but you have to play it quite well, and I feel it's not great in the meta right now with all the Inteleon lineup. If you don't play the Inteleon lineup in Zacian, you normally play the Oranguru, and I don't think it's that consistent, and it doesn't really beat the best decks, but it's a fantastic option. I played it a lot myself. I felt like it struggled playing the better decks. It can beat the Sylveon matchup if you take out the Blaziken early, but I'll explain that for another video. More Umbreon Urshifu, that's a good deck that's been crushing it with the Dragapult, the Rise of Dragapult, and the Rise of Psychics in general. Only the 2 Shadow Rider, which is interesting. So we go straight to Top Cut here and see what decks made it through. So we go Top Cut. Let's have a look. Okay, so we got top 8 here. We got Zacian, the Blaziken, Zeraora deck. I believe this played Sylveon. Yeah, I played Sylveon. Quite standard. We also have the Suicune Ludicolo deck, a Dragapult, more Suicune, Ice Rider, which is interesting, Victini, and more Ice Rider. So if we look to top 4, we got the Sylveon Blaziken deck, which has been really popular. Ludicolo with these Suicune's been crushing it, and it turns out that deck won the whole tournament. So interesting enough, we've got 2 Ice Riders in top 4, and then the winning deck list is the Suicune deck, which has been super powerful since its release. Really consistent, and Suicune is a threat. It's a bit of a pricey option, but if you can afford it, I'd 100% pick up the Suicunes now, because it's a crazy card. Really, really is crazy. Especially this sort of deck as well. Interesting enough, we see Victini in top 8. I think Victini is a quite bold deck to make, but I think it's fantastic. Really, really good. Max Victory is one hell of a attack. And I think in such a water-heavy meta, less people expect Victini. So I think, therefore, it can potentially thrive more. So that's the Southeast Asia tournament. So we got, yeah, big variety there and a big shift. No Leafeon. Yeah, we saw quite a bit of Leafeon in the meta game, but no Leafeon made the top to the top into a top 8. So that's interesting. Next, we'll go for the I played this tournament myself. It was the the YOS-EFI. So this was the Season 3 event, but I think they're doing it weekly, so we'll keep tabs on this definitely. So this was the metagame Thursday, so as recording this, it was Friday. So we're seeing a lot more Umbreon Ishfu. I think we'll see a lot more Umbreon Ishfus go forward, as it just beats Dragapult and Shadow Rider. Even though there is less Shadow Rider, Dragapult's on the rise still, so we'll definitely see this deck for the foreseeable. I think other decks are mostly Sylveon decks, so you won't cover all those. I think when you're playing like so many different type of cards, the game does, the website does bug out and label it as other. I believe one of these is a single strike Umbreon deck, which went all the way to the final. I don't think it won, but we'll check. It could potentially win, actually, I'm not too sure. But we got the Sylveon deck, Mulsation, pretty much quite standard, but we see more Jolteon here. I think Jolteon's a fantastic deck. Really is a threat in such a water heavy format. So yeah, that's the meta. So we go for the stand-ins and then go straight for top 8. Let's have a look. Okay, so we got the Jolteon deck going to top 4, losing to Dragapult. We got Victini again coming through. We'll check out the Victini list actually. I don't think we checked that one last time. So yeah, this is quite a norm now. Seeing the Swablu in the Altaria. Not many people playing the Inteleon or the Rangaroo, so it was quite interesting to see that. Zacian, more Dragapult. I think the other deck is a Umbreon single strike Urshifu deck. This deck is insane. Really, really good deck, and I believe that won the tournament. It did. That deck completely flattened everyone. I think there was 110 players registered, and then 78 players on round 1. So a few players didn't check in, but it's still quite a big event. Zacian, 2 Sylveon decks as well. We'll check out the Jolteon decks. I believe this was... yeah, he was undefeated in Swiss, and his only loss was top 4. It happens. People going undefeated in Swiss and losing in Top Cut. It sucks, but that's card games for you in a Swiss format. So Zigzagoon, really good to put damage counters on the back row for Jolteon. So yeah, we'll see more of this deck for sure. So that was the YOS-EFI. Next, we'll go on to the Master Ball. I believe this was hosted by the Shuffle Squad. So this was early hours this morning, an American tournament. As you can see, huge attendance, really big attendance. So we're seeing the same sort of trend as the YSO. More Umbreon, more Dragapult, more Suicune. Zacian as well being represented, that's interesting. I thought it would take a backseat, but it seems like people want to play it more. Only the 6 Victini decks and only the 6 Shadow Rider decks with the Alcremie, but it's putting those together, that makes 14. So that's what more Shadow Rider, interesting. Sylveon, yep, still up there. So yeah, we're seeing quite a trend here, guys. So this sort of data, you want to sort of think about this and be like, okay, so there's more Umbreon, there's more Dragapult, there's more water. What can I do to implement my strategy to beat these decks? So having this data in front of us is insane. So we'll go straight for the top cut. I believe it's the top 16. Let's have a look. Yeah, top 16. So we got quite a few Dragapults, quite a few Umbreons, quite a few Suicunes, and 2 Leafeons in top 16. With Shadow Rider, more Victini. Yeah, so we're seeing the same sort of decks in top cut here. And then in top 4, we go straight to top 4. We had Umbreon, the single strike. So we'll check this out. Taking in the Crobat as well, which is interesting. Yeah, quite standard. I think this deck is just insane. It's so good, and it's consistent as well, that's what you want in these sort of long tournaments. Victini making it all the way to the final, crushing Jolteon, Leafeon, Dragapult, and then losing to Suicune in the final. That's a rough matchup for Victini, but good to see Victini still on the rise and Suicune winning the event. We'll check out that deck list as well. So yeah, quite standard. Playing the Ice Rider, interesting. So not many people are playing the Ice Rider. They're more playing the Ludicolo engine. But as mentioned, Melanie's a fantastic card. And I think that's the reason why we're seeing so much water now. Melanie is just insane. And Suicune is just, it's just incredible. The Inteleon line as well is quite standard. I think we'll see more Suicune in the next few weeks. I think that could cause a rise of Jolteon, but we'll have to see how that works out, because Ishru beats Jolteon, so it is literally rock paper scissors. You could do this for, I think what we're seeing here is a perfect rock paper scissors of the entire format. Look at that, so diverse. And yeah, so take the data you can, guys, implement it into your strategies, and hopefully we'll see playing some Play Limitless tournaments. So yeah, we'll leave the video there, guys. I appreciate everyone who's followed on Twitch and Twitter. I'll leave all my socials below so you can check them out. And if you haven't subscribed, feel free to do so. We're going to try and pump out some more content this week. And appreciate you guys. Take care.